Hi everyone, it's 10 o'clock at night and me and Lisa have decided to nip out for a sail. We're going to sail over the Isle of Man for a birthday. We're going to do it during the hours of darkness, or most of it in darkness anyway. It's forecasted to be light airs from the east, light easterlies, so they'll help us there. The marina's all quiet at this hour of the night, not a lot going on. Certainly no parties on boats because it's a little bit chilly as well. This is the Isle of Man on the paper chart. I'm going to start here in Conway and we're going to work our way across this bit of Irish Sea, the lower part of the Irish Sea, all the way across to here, which is the Isle of Man, and we go into the main port, Douglas. And this is what it looks like on the electronic chart. We're all the way down there at the bottom of the page. This is the direction that we need to be going, and this will form our course. There's our course degrees up top that we need to head on. Our actual track will take us over the top of Anglesey because the tide will wash us that way as it ebbs. And then the flood will come and shove us all the way up to where we want to go. Or at least that's the plan. Deganway Marina, yacht swallow over.
Yacht swallow, this is Deganway, go ahead Mike, over.
Yeah, right Dave, am I clear to leave, over?
Oh yes, you're all clear to proceed, as long as you don't hit mud. Over.
I'll watch out for the mud in the dark, over.
Deganway out.
Well, we depart, soon on our way, and it's like a mill pond outside. There's plenty of lights from the coast, and all these lights you think would light the way up, but they actually do the entire opposite. It's like when you're driving at night time in your car and another car comes over the hill and he's got his high beams on. You can't see anything at all. And I'm on the lookout for mooring buoys along the way. Because it's high water, or just about high water, we go straight across the sandbanks at Conway. No need to follow the buoyage out, there's enough water. And if you're not following the buoyage, you're less likely to hit anything. You're going into clear water a bit quicker. Visibility is very good, and we've got the AIS on so we can see ships up to about 25 miles. Well, that gives us plenty of time to deal with anything. And there we are, sitting on top of a rock, although there's plenty of water underneath us. As usual, my aim's to keep about 5 knots up over the ground. I'm blessed at the moment with the light off the full moon cutting its way through, and there's actually a bit of visibility that we can actually see, especially behind us, not so much in front. This shot I've taken with my telephone. Absolutely amazed at how it come out. You can see the clouds, the stars. You can see obviously all the lights in the distance, but you can make out which is the sea quite well. And as you get towards the land, it almost looks like daylight, but it's not. It's pitch black out. That's how good this lens is on this camera. That's the moon, and you'd swear it was the sun. And that's moonlight on the water behind us. It's exactly the same as when I took the shot with my other camera. Now, I didn't know it was going to turn out this good, or I'd used it a little bit more. But unfortunately, I think this is the only bit of footage I've got with this camera. That's Conway in the distance behind us. That's the Great Orme. And I can hardly see it myself, but the camera's picking it up. Those little twinkles all in the distance there, they're the windmills. Yeah, you know, the windmills that make free electricity. Well, the price of the wind's gone up a lot lately. And unfortunately, that's going to result in us having to pay a lot more money for our electricity. Well, let's say goodbye to Conway for now, as we head off into the black abyss ahead of us. And the only lights you see out here are ships. I'm piloting the boat from inside. It's much easier. You can see out the windows and you can see the ships quite clearly. You can see them on the AIS as well as we pass by them, and you can see what's coming. That's the AIS screen down there showing you all the ships. We've got a little bit of wind at the moment, as you can see, 7.5 knots. It's not enough to give us our 5 knots of speed, but it helps us while we're motor sailing. And you can just about see a little bit of water go past every now and then out the window. It's quite dark out, really. Well, as we near the top of Anglesey, ships cross your path, mainly on the way from Liverpool or going to Liverpool. This one's on its way, and it's heading for the shipping lanes to take it round the top of Anglesey. That red dotted line, that's another ship coming in the distance, not what you can see there, but further away. Well, obviously it can catch me up. That's the boat we can see in front of us on the AIS, just there. And as he's almost dead ahead of us, although the AIS doesn't seem to say that, we're not going to catch him. So how do I know where he is and where he is and what he's doing? Well, I go and tap on the boat itself, and it gives you its name, and then you can have a look at the boat details. And as you can see, the closest he's going to get to us is half a mile on the CPA on the bottom right of the screen. The speed over ground, he's doing 14 knots, 3 times as fast as our 5 knots. So we got no worries. It tells you everything you need to know about us to stay safe. As the time says, this is about as close as we'll ever get to him, and when we actually look at him, we can see the port light there, which means he's travelling to our port, or to the left as you look at him on the screen there, which means we're easily going to pass the back of him then. But now here's a curveball. He looks like he's past us, but I'm actually slipping with the tide to port, which is my left. I'm also making a little bit of leeway that way as well. So when you look there, it's seconds to the collision is down to 0, 58 seconds, no minutes, 58 seconds, 49 seconds. So we're more or less at the point that we'd hit if we were going to hit now, right now. But obviously he's a good distance away at half a mile, so there's not much chance of it. So let's wave him goodbye. There is a very good advantage to motor sailing in the pitch black. What would it be? Well, it's simple. You have a steaming light on, and that steaming light's halfway up my mast, and if you've got a foresail out, the foresail is lit up. It's a great big white triangle out there, which is quite easy to spot compared with a tiny little light. The north of Anglesey though never sleeps with ships. As you can see, they're en route backwards and forwards to Liverpool all day and night. Well, I got up at first light and Lisa went back to sleep, and we're about 20 miles from where we want to be now, so that's not too far to go. It equates to about 4 hours staying at the 5 knots, but we've never had much wind and we've had to motor sail the whole of the distance. If we shut our engine off, we drop down to about 3 knots, which isn't good enough for me to actually make the distance, because I don't want it to last 24 hours to get there. The engine's running low rev, so it's quite fuel efficient at this point anyway. Well, here comes the sun, so that's nice. A little bit of sunshine goes a long way. It makes the day feel entirely different. Well, we'll be seeing the Isle of Man start to appear soon. There's 17.5 miles to run, according to the chart plotter, to where we're going, but there's only 12.5 miles to actually get to land. There's a ship on the AIS coming up along here, and its path's going to meet our path, but it's a scary ship because it says it's a Stena, and the Stena ships move at a hell of a speed. You can see its speed over ground there's 19 knots, so it's moving fast. So 20 minutes and counting to the collision time, but it's 0.7 of a mile it's going to miss us by, so that's plenty of room. Now that little green arrow there sticks out in front of me is 30 minutes away, and the little second arrow on it is 20 minutes away. So we know in 20 minutes he's going to cross that path line there, but we also know that in 20 minutes we'll have crossed that point. And there he goes, following in our wake. But no dramas there then, as he passes on by with his big motors. Well, can you see it? You can see the mist and you can see the sea, but that little dark patch, that's land. That's our first sight of the Isle of Man. From here on in it'll move quite quickly as we get towards it. Maybe I should wake Lisa up. On second thought, I'll let her sleep a little bit longer. She looks quite happy down there. I always think you're getting really close to land when you can start seeing a bit of colour in it. Maybe a bit of green coming through It's the last thing to come through is the colour. Well, ETA now is about 10 o'clock, which is really good. I can see something just about to depart Douglas on the AIS, and it's not a nice one. It's a fast cat. Well, this is the headland you look for here that takes you into Douglas Bay. There's a lighthouse right on the corner at the very end there on the right of the screen, and there's a couple of conspicuous buildings on the top just in front of that as well. It's at this point now you must call up Douglas Harbour and ask them if it's clear for you to enter the harbour or not. These are the conspicuous buildings I said just on top. Just before the lighthouse there's the lighthouse, and after the lighthouse, if you look, there's a breakwater wall starting to stick out. The breakwater you put to your port, give it a berth. As you get closer to the breakwater wall, it becomes apparent and clear that that's a port hand mark on the end of it. So this is our position now relative to it, and you can see just around the corner there's a second obstacle, a round concrete block with another port hand mark on, so we're going to have to put our way around that as well. But it's quite easy to see and it's very conspicuous. It's only in the dark that you'll wonder what it is, but if you know beforehand, you're okay. This is the way in from an aerial view. You're coming in through here, so it's quite a big opening and easy to get to, but you can see there's a reason to call up and make sure there's no ships coming out. This is the route into the marina over here, but there's a swing bridge that has to lift here. If the harbour master can't get you in straight away through the swing bridge and can't get her up, he asks you to stop on this waiting pontoon over here. I just zoom in, there it is there with the boat sitting on it. Zoom in again, there it is there with the boat sitting on it, so you can't miss it. Well, once you're in, you're in. Even if it is a grey day, it's nice to get in. You can get a bit of shut-eye now, I think. But it's one leg runs right down the middle, that one leg there, and he'll either ask you to go to the port side of it or the starboard side of it. As you see it when you come on, he'll give you a berth number and you just slip in, and it's quite easy to get in. And there's a lot going on all around you then. There's pubs, shops, you're right in the middle of the town, and it's an excellent place to be. Now this is our track we spent during the night. The gap in the middle just means we went out to land signals. Other ships could see us and we could see them. But as we bent to the left, that was the tide taking us, and as we moved back to the right, that was the tide taking us. Well done, Lisa. If the sun shines, it's a lovely place to spend a bit of time on your boat. And if it doesn't, then you can leave your boat securely tied up and disappear into town. That's the blue bridge that has to swing open to let you in. And then once you're up on the walls, you can see the dock leg quite clearly. That's the biggest Bruce anchor I've ever seen. 6 tons over. It's heavier than my boat, and it's just an anchor. That's the RNLI station, and in the background there, you can clearly see the waiting pontoon. So head for the lifeboat station. That's the breakwater wall from the land view, and the lighthouse from the land view, and a crazy little ornament that the RNLI put together. Bye bye from the Isle of Man.